Hello everyone, my name is Havian and today I'll be going over some new information about Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris. Recently there was another developer livestream that showed some new gameplay, and in this stream they went into some details about their post-release support for the game. Based on the information that they released and from what I've seen of the past games, it seems like they're actually planning to support Alicization Lycoris for a while. They'll be providing free ongoing content updates along with a premium pass that includes 2 additional expansions, which is similar to how they did things in a few of the previous games, but it does seem like this time they're taking things a little further. The base game will be there as usual with the main story and online multiplayer, and anyone that wants the larger chunks of additional content can buy the DLCs. But it seems like the plan is to add smaller and more frequent content updates and activities to keep people playing the game. The first batch of the free content seems to be named Ancient Apostle. In this update, people will be able to take on new raids that will be added every month, and these raids can be taken on solo or with other people in online multiplayer mode. As much as I want these raids to be dungeons with multiple bosses throughout it, I have a feeling that the first few will be a fight against a single boss, kind of like the raid bosses that were in the previous games. But hopefully, if they're not already going to be in the game early on, they'll add some larger scale ones over time. Along with the raid, character stories will be added and we can expect to see gameplay balances. There was also mention of a new gameplay system that they'll be adding to the game, but they didn't really explain much about it. I'm not sure how long the Ancient Apostle content will last for, and I have no idea what they have planned after it, but I'll expect they'll keep adding content for as long as the game makes them money. Which brings us on to the other thing they spoke about, daily quests. Along with playing through the main story and working your way through your own goals, each day there will be new quests for you to complete. These can be things like defeating a certain number of enemies, collecting certain materials, using sword skills 10 times, or doing chain attacks with specific characters. It was mentioned that there will be different difficulty levels for these quests, with some quests taking a few minutes to complete and others taking a few hours to finish. When you finish these quests, you'll be rewarded with something called a cube ticket. Cube tickets can be exchanged for cubes, and cubes contain outfits, weapon skins, accessories, and some other things that appear to be EXP related items. When you open a cube, you'll get a random selection of these items that seem to have different rarity tiers. Cube tickets also seem to have common, rare, super rare, and legendary rarities based on a screenshot that was shown. So I assume the harder the daily quest you complete, the rarer the ticket you'll get. And the rarer the ticket you get, then I guess the higher chance to get some of the higher rarity cosmetics from the cubes. I get the impression that there'll be different seasons or volumes to these cubes too, since the cube in the screenshot is marked with volume 1. So I assume every few weeks or months a new volume will be introduced that will have a new set of outfits, weapon skins, and accessories inside, and you'll be able to spend the tickets that you've saved from doing daily quests on them. But there is another way for these items to be obtained, and that's in the SAO store. In the SAO store you can use SAO Coins to buy the items that you would find in cubes directly. The prices for the SAO coin packs were only shown in yen, but you'll be able to make a rough conversion based on these prices. 100 SAO coins cost 100 yen, 600 coins cost 500 yen, 1,500 coins cost 1,000 yen, which is roughly around $9 US, 8 euros or 7 pounds, and 2,100 SAO coins cost 1,500 yen. Apparently the cost of the items in the SAO store will range from 400 to 1,000 SAO coins. So if there's a weapon skin or an outfit that you want, you can buy it from the SAO store directly instead of waiting until you get it from a cube. But according to the producer and a press release that was sent out by Bandai Namco, anyone that regularly does their daily quests will be able to obtain everything they want from cubes. Personally, I'm not someone that cares too much about cosmetic stuff, so I can't see myself ever using the SAO store. I'm sure I'll do the daily quests, but this system does bring up a few questions. When a new cube volume or season starts, or when new cosmetics get released, will you still be able to obtain the cosmetics from the previous volume? Or will old cosmetics rotate out and only be purchasable from the SAO store until they rotate back in? Or well, if they ever rotate back in. And if you don't do any daily quests, what kind of costumes are available in the base game for people to use? For For this system to work, they'll need to actually be adding content into the game that people find enjoyable and would want to keep playing for. If cubes in the SAO shop are things that concern you, then hold off on getting the game until after it releases, just to see how much of an impact this all makes. It can definitely be a slippery slope when systems like this are added to the game, but since it doesn't interfere with the core game at the moment, and it may lead to more content further down the line, I don't think there's a cause for concern yet. Personally, I feel like it's going to be fine in this game, but whatever the next game is that they make, I feel like they're going to add on top of this system. So it's definitely something we'll need to keep an eye on. Some other things that were shown during the stream were what the sacred art elements specialize in. Up until now, we've only had a good look at the fire and ice elements sacred arts, and based on what we already know, they're two of the offensive magic elements, but the other elements can have different functions. Heat sacred arts create long-range frontal attacks that can cause continuous fire damage to enemies. Ice sacred arts can create attacks directly in front of you or all around you, and enemies' hit can be frozen and locked in place. Water sacred arts have attacks, spells that can knock enemies back, and they also seem to have buffs with effects like damage reduction. Wind sacred arts can be used to buff yourself and your party members, and it also can be used to protect the party members from attacks by creating a wind barrier. Metallic sacred arts can be used to increase your physical abilities, create obstacles for enemies, and what seems to be rocks that you can use to get to higher places. Crystal sacred arts are focused on offense. It has attacks that can track enemies, and counter-focused abilities that can reflect enemy attacks. Light sacred arts can be used to heal party members and reduce the accuracy of enemy attacks. And darkness sacred arts are focused on debuffing enemies and have effects that can weaken and confuse enemies. A new weapon type was also introduced that focuses on long-ranged attacks, called the twin-edged wings. At release, there will be a weapon type that will be exclusive to the character Renly, but I have a feeling that they'll become a weapon that we may be able to use in multiplayer or on Kirito in a later update. And speaking of Kirito, in the latest trailer he was shown to be using a whip. It was pretty obvious that he would be able to use other weapon types apart from sword, but now it looks like they've gone out of their way to show us that we'll be able to use different weapons while we play through the story. Let me know what you think about the SAO coins and the cube systems in the comment section below. And if you found this video useful and you would like to see some more videos about Sword Art Online or action RPGs, then don't forget to subscribe and click that bell. And if you want to stay up to date with everything I'm doing, the links to all the places you can find me are going to be in the description. I'll be making some new videos very soon, but until I make those videos, I'll see you all later.